Greece police are looking for your help in identifying several suspects they say contributed to the chaos right around Christmas at Greece Ridge Mall. There were two separate incidents here on Christmas Eve and also the day after Christmas. Reports claimed up to 200 teens were causing chaos, police say, on the 26th alone. Pictures on your screen now of those Greece PD is looking for at this time. They're wanted for charges including riot, assault, and larceny. If you have any information that can help the department out, you're asked to call them directly. That number there on your screen, 585-581-4016, or email gpdtips@greeceny.gov. For a closer look, we do have a slideshow on our website with these images up. That's online right now at rochesterfirst.com.
New details released today on a melee at Greece Ridge Mall on the day after Christmas, violence breaking out and forcing the mall to close early last night. Officials say teens violated the mall's permanent curfew policy. 13 WHAM's Carly Miner is back with new information from police. Carly.
Thanks, Karen. A massive fight among a large group of teens prompted the mall at Greece Ridge to close early Tuesday night. I spoke with the town supervisor and Greece police chief regarding this incident. New today, the mall at Greece Ridge is implementing the parental escort policy until January 1st. This follows a massive fight amongst juveniles at the mall Tuesday evening. Police say around 150 to 200 juveniles were at the scene.
We've seen many community events over the last several years in this region get interrupted by this type of behavior, unmonitored youngsters coming around and just creating chaos.
The Greece town supervisor says it's difficult for law enforcement to do their job due to new laws that have been passed in the recent years.
I think almost anyone here has seen people load up a shopping cart and go out of store and nothing happens. As you're staying there paying for what you bought. It's just something that has no common sense. It doesn't make sense in a society, and we need to start having some laws changed so that the folks in law enforcement can continue to do their job effectively.
The mall at Greece Ridge is asking anyone who appears to be less than 19 years of age to be prepared to show valid ID.
You know, that just doesn't happen by accident or by random. I mean, there's probably the estimates were 150 to 200 juveniles at one period of time around the mall, coming in different entrances, in the mall, outside the mall, creating kind of a bit of chaos.
The mall updated its parental escort policy now all day through January 1st. Individuals under the age of 19 are not permitted in the mall unless accompanied by a legal guardian, parent, aunt, uncle, or grandparent who is at least 21. Karen?
Community getting to know local first responders today over at the Greece Ridge Mall. The event was held from 11 to 2 and featured folks from a variety of law enforcement agencies. They spent time chatting with community members and offering advice to those interested in a career in law enforcement, something organizers say is sorely needed.
I thought it was important to try to have the public safety agencies of the town of Greece and Monroe County make themselves available for community engagement and recruitment. Recruitment being one of the main things because there's such a shortage of people working in public safety nowadays.
Organizers adding events like these give the community a chance to see law enforcement officials in a laid-back, positive environment. They also say the hope is to make this an annual event.
This just into our newsroom. The mall at Greece Ridge implementing an all-day parental escort policy. This follows last night's shutdown. The policy takes effect today. That'll be through January 1st, requiring anyone under the age of 19 to have an escort over the age of 21. Now, today we heard from both the Greece police chief, also the town supervisor, who say a crowd of up to 200 young people who were, quote, causing chaos that ultimately led to the mall's closure. Dan Gross spoke with them. He joins us now with what they had to say. Dan.
Natalie, Supervisor Rylick and Chief Woods said that Greece police executed a, quote, emergency plan that they say concluded with no reported major theft, property damage, or injuries. As the agency broke up the crowds of young people and shut down the mall last night around 6:20 p.m., no one was arrested. On that emergency plan, they didn't offer a lot of specifics for us today, except that GPD had 4 officers on site. Usually they just have 1 at the mall. Chief Woods said about 150 to 200 kids took ride-sharing services to be at the mall around the same time. Now, they did point to similar incidents in Syracuse and Buffalo malls recently, saying that the Greece Mall is not unusual. In the same breath, though, Chief Wood acknowledged a smaller incident at the mall the night before last, but didn't offer any specifics. Rylick says last night was the first incident of this magnitude at the mall in his tenure, though we should say a similar incident occurred 3 years ago to the day, which led to 3 arrests. Rylick said they're treating this seriously and addressed public perception that the mall is a trouble spot, while Chief Wood addressed the lack of arrests.
Was contained. It's something we don't want to see happen again, but it's not like they're treating it lightly. There's a lot of security measures in place, which I'm not going to get into because they're security measures, but still in all, that allow this situation to be controlled. We hope it doesn't happen again, but there's new measures going to be implemented to try and deter this from the future.
You know, we deal with the laws. You know, we're in the executive branch. We're not in the legislative branch. We deal with the laws that we can enforce. When we can make arrests, we will make arrests.
Today, Supervisor Rylick also had a message for Albany regarding the lack of arrests from last night, asking for changes that will help law enforcement. We have that message on News 8 at 5. Reporting the studio, Dan Gross, News 8.
All right, Dan, thank you.
We do react to certain circumstances, but we do think always that there's room for improvement and that we're going to try to work collectively with them to try to prevent this from happening again.
A policy change now in effect at the mall in Greece following a chaotic scene last night. Good evening. Greece police now tell us up to 200 young people were, quote, causing chaos at the mall, leading authorities to shut it down early. They say no one was arrested.
That's right. Dan Gross spoke with the Greece police chief and the town supervisor there. He joins us now in studio with more. Dan.
Teresa, Adam, in short, the chief says they couldn't make any arrests because they operate inside the law. So the town supervisor is calling on Albany to make that change at the legislative level. But both men, acknowledged today the plan GPD had in place worked last night. Chief of Greece Police Michael Wood says the incident at the mall at Greece Ridge started when 150 to 200 kids, by their estimation, were arriving at the mall by rideshare. Wood says they began, quote, causing chaos. Prior to the 6:20 p.m. shutdown last night, Greece Police began enacting their emergency plan, part of which included 4 officers stationed at the mall instead of their usual 1.
That's just what the police and first responders do. We're prepared and we train, and the folks just implemented. And the bottom line is they did a fantastic job.
Chief Wood went on to say that there were no reports of major damage, injuries, or thefts reported to Greece police. No arrests were made. Greece Town Supervisor Rylick said they are working on added security measures to prevent this from happening again. We should say a similar incident 3 years ago shut down the mall and led to 3 arrests. Meantime, Rylick is calling for legislative change at the state level.
What I'm hearing is they're starting to now talk about undoing some of the things they've done. It can't happen fast enough. Hopefully in the next legislative session, they'll start addressing this so that the officers not only can continue doing their job, but do it more effectively.
Josh Jensen, a Republican, is the assembly member for the 134th district for the state, which includes Greece. He pointed to raise the age and bail reform as possible issues to target, but when asked about specifics, he didn't offer any.
There has to be accountability, and what seemingly has happened in New York State is that we've eliminated a lot of that accountability. And
at least one of those security changes the supervisor mentioned, an all-day escort policy at the mall in Greece, is in effect until the 1st of the new year. That means anyone under the age of 19 needs an escort of someone 21 or older. Reporting in the studio, Dan Gross, News 8.
Our town has another mall, another place for people to walk and ride and throw some money around. The Tucker family came to see the new place today.
I like it. Try to keep my wife away, save a little money. It'll be all right. Other than that, it's beautiful, nice job they did bring the 2 malls together.
Amy Chrisman will be an assistant manager at a store here. She likes the look of the new mall.
It's a lot newer looking, whereas Eastview, I don't know if I can say another mall. Can I mention another mall?
Sure, you can.
Okay, all right. Eastview is very old. It has the carpet on the floors, and it's just, I don't care for it. But this one it's a beautiful mall.
Well, a mall's beauty is in the eyes of the shopper. Aside from the new look, there's not a lot that's different about this mall. You'll recognize most of the stores, and there's a food court like they have at other malls. What is different is this mall is in Greece, and a lot of people in this town think its arrival is good news.
Well, for us, it's closer, for one thing. We're from Hilton, and it's just going to be more convenient. I really don't like driving down to Marketplace.
But some people are just looking forward to walking here. Wilma Jacobs was sitting today, but she will walk this mall for exercise. Are you a mall walker for exercise?
I'm a mall walker,
really?
yeah. So I have well, a longer distance to go, so more points to lose.
The mall at Grease Ridge has added multiple tenants over the past few months, and the latest is the youth shoe store Journey's Kids. The store opened this month. Rock City Soles restocked, and Reality's Edge Tattoo all opened last month, and the TGI Fridays at the mall, however, closed in December.
Well, the community is continuing to honor fallen Rochester Police Department officer Anthony Mazurkowicz. The nonprofit Operation Patriot Foundation held a charity walk at the mall at Grease Ridge this morning. Our chief photographer, Jay Gardner, filed this story capturing the sights and sounds from those ceremonies.
Today we're conducting an event as a fundraiser to support the Mazurkowicz family. Sadly, we did the same event 8 years ago for Officer Pearson. We hoped we'd never do it again, but here we are. The idea behind the walk is to honor his sacrifice and provide some physical support for the family.
It's been a very trying time for law enforcement, not just by the passing of Officer Mazurkowicz, but also just a lot of changes that have happened over the last few years, the spikes in violence. And, you know, when organizations put together events like this, when you start to think that maybe the community's not supporting you, it reinvigorates our men and women in uniform to go out and serve their communities the way that they're supposed to. It's specifically to the criminal element out there that wants to wreak havoc on our communities. We will not be deterred. We will continue to take post every single night, and we are coming for you.
And at that event, a minimum donation of $10 was required for those participating in the walk, with all the proceeds set to be presented to the family of Officer Mazurkowicz.
The Forever 21 at the mall at Grease Ridge is closing. The company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy this week. Nearly 200 of its 800 stores will be closed. No word yet on when the local store will close.
So we're going to take you to the Grease Ridge Mall, where earlier tonight authorities shut it down after police say a group of kids refused to leave. It was quite the scene on what is typically a busy after Christmas shopping day. Jatira Marsh is reporting live across from the mall that closed just after 6 tonight. Our News 8 team heard from witnesses and Grease police about what happened there. Jatira.
Teresa, I know this parking lot looks pretty empty, but that wasn't the case earlier. Grease police shared with me that they got a call saying 25 juveniles were here at the mall refusing to leave when asked by mall security. And once the police arrived, they realized that the crowd had grown much larger.
Deputies, officers, and troopers worked together to disperse the large group. One juvenile was detained during the incident and was released to a parent.
Beth Walpert, who was nearby when cops showed up at the mall, explained what she saw.
We drove by like an hour and a half later, and there was a whole group of people in front of the McDonald's in front of the mall because they closed down the mall. And the cop cars were all still there. Every entrance was shut down.
Walpert says she and her family refused to shop there out of concerns about troubles at the shopping center. Others complained about the inconvenience of having to leave earlier than planned tonight.
Like, dang, like why y'all gotta come here and do all this, like, fighting and stuff? Like, why y'all couldn't go somewhere else with all that?
Police say no property damage was reported and no arrests have been made. Live in Greece, I'm Jatira Marsh, Teresa, back to you.
All right, Jatira, thank you. We understand New York State Police, the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, the Rochester Police, and Gates Police Departments assisted police in Greece tonight. The mall was scheduled to close at 8, but in a statement, the property managers explained that due to youth violating the curfew policy and causing a disturbance, they decided with police to shut down the mall early. As we learn more, we'll update you on air and online at rochesterfirst.com.
There are new details at noon in the fallout to the chaos at the mall at Grease Ridge on Christmas. Police have released the names of several individuals wanted for their involvement. William Jefferson. There's also Antonio Torres, Trevon Burkett, and Amir Dash. All of them wanted on riot charges. And here are their photos on your screen. We've got them on our website too. If you recognize any of them, know where they might be, or have leads that can help find them, Grease Police wants you to call 911.
The Sears at Grease Ridge Mall officially closed today. According to a notice filed with the State Labor Department, 50 employees were affected. Sears announced earlier this year that it would be closing more than 100 stores due to lagging sales. The stores in Marketplace and Eastview malls will remain open. And we want to let you know that we're going to have a full forecast in just a minute, so stay with us.
Developer of the Grease Ridge Mall, Wilmer Wright, confirmed to News 8 today that the Burlington Coat Factory is moving locations within the mall. It'll soon be in the old Bed Bath & Beyond space. Now, the mall will not confirm what entertainment business will be going in the old Burlington space. There's no firm timetable for Burlington's reopening.
Now until at least January 1st, kids going to the mall at Grease Ridge need to have a chaperone, someone at least 21 years old with them once they're inside the mall at all times. That rule change comes after police had to shut down the mall Tuesday night due to what they say is chaos. There were no reports of injuries that night or property damage, but police estimate roughly 150 to 200 kids were being disruptive inside the mall. The town supervisor says the Grease officers aren't just battling incidents like this one any given week. They also have issues with Albany as well.
Our officers are doing all they can, but their hands are somewhat tied by the laws that have been passed recently by the state of New York.
We have a number of challenges when you're dealing with juveniles, and I think that the unfortunate reality is a lot of those kids know that too, quite honestly. And, we've dealt with that before. And again, we deal with the laws. We're in the executive branch. We're not in the legislative branch. We deal with the laws that we can enforce.
One person was detained there in Greece before being released to their parents. A similar scene at the same time, same night down the thruway near Buffalo at the Walden Galleria. Cheektowaga police are sharing more details about their own crowd of teens erupting into fights. A 17-year-old was arrested there Tuesday. Police also used pepper spray to break up crowds. The chief says close to 50 teens were part of the chaos, standing on top of tables in the food court, running around the mall and baiting officers. We're told the teen arrested tried to punch an officer, but no injuries.
I thought our officers showed a lot of restraint, responding to fights with over 50 people involved. And we know that we're going to be dealing with something. We just don't know to what extent.
The chief says more officers are stationed at the Walden Galleria than the rest of the town because of historically hectic nights following the Christmas holiday.
Stacy, fire crews responded to the mall at Grease Ridge today for reports of a fire. We have video from the scene provided by a witness, and in this video you can see fire crews focusing their efforts on the top of the Macy's building there, one of the anchor stores at the mall. The cause or extent of the damage, if there was a fire at all, still really unknown, but according to witnesses and in some of the footage provided by that witness, the fire alarm was going off inside. However, shoppers were not evacuating the building.
Local blood supply drops every summer. To catch up, the American Red Cross increases the number of blood drives. This one took place today at the mall at Grease Ridge. Dozens of people took part in giving back to those in need. News 8 was a proud sponsor of the drive. If you were not able to make it out to today's drive, you can always come down to the News 8 station for our blood drive. It's this Monday from 11 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. We have a link to sign up at rochesterfirst.com. Just click on the community section link.
Well, a smackdown over in Grease Ridge Mall tonight, all for a good cause. Upstate Pro Wrestling took center court, sponsoring 6 different fights. Organizers say they held the match to help a team member get through a tough time.
We had one of our roster members lost their house in a fire over last weekend. So anything we're doing today is going towards the family. We're selling shirts. We've had a GoFundMe. We're presenting them a check later tonight and hope to get them back up and on their feet.
And next month, the group celebrates its 20th anniversary. We found out today 2 Wingstops will be opening 2 locations in our area soon. A spokesperson from the restaurant chain says one location is coming to the mall at Grease Ridge in early September. The second is slated to open at 703 East Ridge Road in Irondequoit, but we don't have a date yet for that. Wingstop is best known for serving chicken wings and having a 1930s to 1940s aviation theme at their restaurants.
Police are currently on the scene of an apparent car fire at Grease Ridge Mall. We're awaiting more information from police. A viewer sent in this video to us moments ago. As we work to learn more, we're going to be sure to keep you updated here on air and over at rochesterfirst.com.
There's some good news for movie fans as well. The Regal Cinema at the mall at Grease Ridge is reopening tomorrow. COVID-19 safety guidelines will be in place, including masking and social distancing. The first films you can check out: Spiral, Wrath of Man, and Those Who Wish Me Dead.